Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. For you in this episode. All the URLs are in the description of this video for your convenience. The first one here is off of Yahoo News, and it says over 1 million decrypted Gmail and Yahoo accounts allegedly up for sale on the dark web. A dark web vendor is reportedly selling over 1 million decrypted Gmail and Yahoo accounts in an underground marketplace. The accounts listed for sale allegedly contained usernames, emails, and plain text passwords. The cybercriminal allegedly selling the accounts is believed to be using the handle Suntzu583, and that's SUNTZU 583. The dark web vendor is allegedly selling 100,000 Yahoo accounts from 2012 last FM date breach for 0.0079 bitcoins or $10.75. Another 145,000 Yahoo accounts from 2013 Adobe breach and the 2008 MySpace hack were also reportedly found listed for sale for 0.0102 bitcoins. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an ad. Get past that. 583 is also reportedly selling 500,000 Gmail accounts for 0.219 bitcoins. The account allegedly comes from Space hack, the 2013 Tumblr breach, and the 2014 Bitcoin security form breach, according to a report by HackRead. 50,000 Gmail accounts were also listed on sale by the same vendor for 0.0199 bitcoins from various other data breach that took place between 2010 and 2016, according to Dropbox, the Adobe, and other hacks. The data has allegedly been checked by data on popular data breach notification platforms such as have been pawned, I guess that is. It's HAVEBEENPWNED. However, the data listed for sale has not been independently verified by IB Times UK. It has become increasingly commonplace for hackers to sell user accounts from older data breaches on underground marketplaces as a way to make a quick buck. And stolen accounts are used by cybercriminals to perpetuate other crimes such as identity theft. It is highly advisable that users adopt safe security practices and change their account passwords. Their accounts are found to be part of data breaches. And there's some video in this if you would care to take a look at that. I suggest everybody get busy changing their passwords. The next one is on Natural News, privacy under attack as internet fingerprinting tracks your every move. The level of privacy offered by internet is more than a little uncomfortable. You might not want to hear about this latest tracking technique developed by a Pennsylvania professor of computer science. Yinzi Lehigh University has come up with a way to make fingerprinting work across multiple browsers with complete accuracy. Browser fingerprinting identifies a list of characteristics that are unique to your particular computer software and hardware that is then used to identify you. It entails everything from your screen resolution to the fonts you have installed on your system. Banks and retail sites use the technique to authenticate users, and it also is used to target advertising by keeping track of your every move online and delivering ads that match your interests and habits. It's 91% accurate. It has been very easy to work around, and it's simply by switching to a different web browser until now. Cal's new method will work even if you regularly rotate between various browsers. Rate of success will make it very attractive to advertisers and others learn every last detail of your life and routine. A test of 3,615 fingerprints, 1,900 users found an accuracy score of 99.2%. Expressed concern about how this tracking could be used to impinge on people's privacy by using it to deliver customized ads. The code online, which is a bit of a double-edged sword. While advertisers will be able to use it to violate people's privacy, computer scientists will be able to look at it carefully and hopefully develop some type of defense against it. Cal's approach works by having browsers run through a series of 36 tasks that are related to a computer's operating system and hardware capabilities like CPUs, writing scripts, and graphic cards. It also keeps track of plugins, extensions, and presence of ad blockers and time zones. The features it looks at are generally the same across different browsers, such as the screen's width to height ratio rather than the resolution, which can vary. Tasks can be run in less than a minute, especially on many of the world's top browsers, including Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Opera, and Microsoft Edge. The only browser that seems to be immune to this method is Tor. As people grow increasingly concerned about privacy matters when it comes to the internet, a number of new privacy-oriented tools are emerging, like Ranger's Good Gopher search engine. Search engines like Good Gopher and Start Page are appealing to those who are tired of Google, whose ironic mantra is don't be evil, spying online and then recording it for time immemorial, including keeping voice recordings of conversations people have had within earshot of Google devices. It is improving our lives in many ways. It's the reason you're able to read this article in the first place and learn about how to protect yourself. At the same time, however, technology poses unprecedented potential dangers that people need to be aware of, from the invasion of privacy while surfing the web and the possibility of data breach while shopping or banking online, to people using RFID readers to steal your data right off the credit card in your wallet, as they sit just a few feet away from you. Anyone who wants to enjoy the benefits of modern technology and the internet in particular, aware of all that can go wrong and do their best to close any vulnerabilities, whether it's by use of private browsers and VPNs or keeping your bank cards in an RFID sleeve. Advertisers and hackers alike are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and it's vital to stay one step ahead of them. This is off BizPack Review. It says, college suggests paying minority students for emotional labor. You won't believe the administration approved signs. As assistants, or RAs, recently hung 2 types of signs titled Emotional Labor 101 across campus to warn students against making people uncomfortable. Printed on a white background is titled Quick Guide for White Students. The other poster, printed on a black paper, is titled Quick Guide for People of Color and Marginalized Backgrounds. Both signs, which are marked with the Scripps College Administration stamp of approval, define emotional labor as the extension for the purpose of addressing people's feelings, educating, making people comfortable, or living up to social expectations. The sign addressing non-white students notes victims of emotional labor can be in the classrooms, on social media, or in social events. If you're constantly having to explain or defend, this could be you. The poster then asks and states, first and foremost, decide if it's worth your time. The burden does not rest on your shoulders. Remove yourself if possible and necessary. You don't owe anyone anything at the expense of your mental health. The flyer then lists several tips to avoid overexertion, suggesting that minority students refer to a friendly Google search of the concept in question. Call in professors and white peers to help educate their peers, and even charge for your services, because if you've decided you're going to do it, at least get paid. Visit your designated dean of students on campus to talk about ways to address the mental toll. To white students, rather than discussing the experience of emotional labor, instead ask, how do I know if I'm causing someone emotional labor? The answer, it explains, can be found by asking oneself questions like, could I have Googled the answer, but I chose not to? Do I find myself in a situation where people of color or people from marginalized groups are hating me? What power dynamics are at play? Do I find myself getting defensive? Are people telling me I'm causing them emotional labor? The message to white students ends by listing options for what can I do about causing others emotional labor. The poster states that should be mindful of your place and position. Google it. Seek community of white people who are educating themselves and thinking about social justice issues. Compensate the labor you caused. Educate yourself. Take advantage of ethnic study courses, the internet, and SCORE, which is Scripps Communities of Resources and Empowerment. Take ownership for the harm you caused. And do better next time. Neither the Scripps College nor the RAs whose email addresses are listed on the posters responded to requests for comment. Go figure. The next one we have here is off of CNET. I can't make this stuff up. Google caught spreading fake news over the weekend. Barack Obama planning a coup? The answer, according to Google this weekend, could have been yes. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Google acknowledged Monday reports that it inadvertently allowed false information to spread over the weekend. Unfortunately, there are instances when we feature a site with inappropriate or misleading content, a Google spokeswoman said in a statement. On Sunday, chatter about the tech giant spreading inaccurate information and conspiracy theories through a search function called bubbled up on social media, highlighting reports from the outline.com and search engine land. You may have seen the featured snippets displayed in a box at the top of Google search results, or heard them parroted by your Google Home device when you input a query. Over the weekend, featured snippets was giving a rather funky answer to the question, is Obama planning a coup? Is, of course, former President Barack Obama. According to details exposed in Western Center for Journalism exclusive video, not only could Obama be in bed with the communist Chinese, but Obama may in fact be planning communist coup d'etat at the end of his term in 2016, Google would reply. False information, aka fake news, has been attracting attention recently through its problem as the old internet itself. Still, it was the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign that transformed fake news into a hot-button topic, with claims that fake news reports influenced outcome of the election. Since the election, President Donald Trump has used the phrase in attacks on mainstream media. Storm last year was Facebook, a network where people can easily share fake news. The company has since promised to crack down on the problem. But it's not just Facebook in this specific instance. Google fixed the problem as soon as it was alerted to the result. But people are actively trying to find other examples. If you do not happen to, if you do happen across what you believe to be featured snippet containing false information, you can click on the feedback link directly underneath it to flag the problem to Google. Spreading false information is not Google's intention. The company has been trying to crack down on it. Last month, Google teamed up with Facebook to combat the problem in France and Germany, both of which face upcoming elections. So what went wrong over the weekend? According to Google, the featured snippet search function relies on algorithms to automatically provide a match to a search query, pulling in text from third-party sites. Most of the time, this provides people with a helpful summary or answer to their question. It doesn't always discriminate between reputable and disreputable sources. When we are alerted to Facebook's snippet that violates our policies, we work quickly to remove them, which we have done in this instance, Google said. We apologize for any offense this may have caused. The next article that I have for you is off of collectiveevolution.com, and it says, Snowden's revealing tweet exposes exactly what our TVs are doing to us. 4 years ago, Edward Snowden accomplished one of the most significant intelligence leaks in the U.S. history, confirming to the world that the government really does spy on you. 2 years later, Samsung casually warned the public that their smart TVs could record their living room banner. Now, even if you're alone in the room, if that room contains a laptop, computer, or smart TV, it's possible that someone out there is listening to you and even watching you. The worst part, you wouldn't even know it. A new technology called T-Vision Insights was recently launched, allowing companies to monitor TV watchers' viewing habits. This means that they can literally watch you as you watch TV, and the technology even records data on where your eyes are looking when you're distracted and what emotions you're conveying. Sites watch as you watch TV. I first came across the technology when Edward Snowden tweeted the following image on February 26th of 2017. And it's a poster. It says, who watches the watchers, your TV? And there's a picture that looks like it's viewing someone that's viewing a television set, and it says Dan Shipman of T-Visions demonstrating the software. The big thing for TV advertisers and their network is, are you actually looking at the screen or not, he said. As you can see, not only can companies watch you watch TV, but their technology is intelligent enough to pick up on your facial expression and other significant data. This information has provided insight into not only what shows people watch the most or are the most engaged in, but what commercials they prefer to watch as well. T-Vision was co-founded by Dan Shipman and one of his classmates from Sloan School of Management at MIT. Though the installation of a Microsoft Kinect device, most often used for Xbox video games, on top of TVs, T-Vision tracks the movement of people's eyes in relation to the TV. The device can then record even tiny shifts from everyone in the room, and then the company matches the movement to what they're watching. The device sensors can record minute shifts in all of the people in the room. The company then matches those viewing patterns to show and commercials using technology that listens to what is being broadcast on the TV. The technology is still very new. It's currently being voluntarily tested on 7,500 people in Boston, Chicago, and Dallas-Fort Worth areas. Obviously, there are privacy concerns here. The company states that they aren't storing any images or video footage, and it's only a voluntary installation, at least for now. Seeing companies and the U.S. government abuse similar software to spy on us. How can we guarantee this information won't be publicized or sold to corporations or the government, since that's already happened? Where do we draw the line between wanting the latest technical gadgets and wanting to secure our privacy? Is it even possible to have both anymore? This isn't the first example of surveillance through TVs, and it probably won't be the last. In early 2015, Samsung released a statement warning customers that their smart TVs were capable of listening to and recording conversations. They have voice recognition software, but this fancy piece of technology comes at a price, and the price is a complete and utter violation of privacy. Samsung actually warned its customers not to have important conversations or disclose personal information in front of their smart TVs because the audio can be recorded and then transmitted to unidentified third parties. Samsung's privacy policy in regards to the TV actually reads, please be aware that if include personal or other sensitive information, that information will be among the data captured and transmitted to a third party. You can read more about the Samsung controversy in our CE article, and there's a link you can click on to go to that. It says, also found to record people, but the company had to pay $2.2 million to settle charges for collecting and selling footage of TVs without the knowledge of consent of its viewers. This is pretty fair settlement given the fact that they had sold 11 million of these smart TVs. One can only imagine how many people were directly affected by this. The software, Smart Interactivity, was marketed as a feature that enables program offers and suggestions for users. However, according to the Federal Trade Commission, actually offer any of these programs or suggestions for more than 2 years after being sold. The FTC suit, which was filed alongside the Attorney General of New Jersey and the Director of the State's Division of Consumer Affairs, claimed that Vizio and its subsidiary services sold data to third parties. The data collected was able to show what programs and commercials people watched and when. It would also measure the effectiveness of advertisements as it would use the IP address attached to all of the internet technological devices in your home to see if you recently searched for anything in regards to that commercial. For example, if you watch McDonald's commercial and then ordered McDonald's on your phone, the software would pick up on that and confirm that the commercial was successful. The software can also do this in reverse. So if you see an ad online for a cool show and then you decide to watch it after, the software would pick up on that too. The software could also target ads to people on their other device, like phones or laptops, based on what they watched on TV. Although Vizio never publicly identified the companies they sold their data to, the FTC claimed that it included personal information like sex, age, income, marital status, household size, education, home ownership, and household value. If you own a smart TV, don't stress out too much. There are ways to opt out of these features, although who knows if this is guaranteed, but it's certainly worth a shot. Just do a quick Google search and you can find out how to opt out of Vizio and Samsung's smart TVs. It's well known now that laptop cameras and microphones are easy targets for hackers, particularly if those hackers are U.S. government agencies, as they can be activated remotely and you may not even know it because that little green light next to your camera won't successfully turn on. The entire CE office tapes over their laptop cameras in order to prevent anyone from potentially spying on us. Even Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg tapes over his laptop camera and microphone as an easy defense against people spying on him. I encourage you to do the same. The reality is that we live in a world where everything is recorded and privacy isn't always a choice anymore. There are little things here and there that we can do to avoid being taped or listened to, but that seems to be getting more and more difficult. We live in a technologically driven world, so it's crucial that we voice our opinions and fight for our privacy. Even if you feel like you don't have anything to hide, you should still have the right to do so. And the final article in this episode is off of freebeacon.com, and it says, pipeline protesters stand by arrested leader exposes rapist. Owner of protest site says violent rapist was very honorable man, that he would stand by him any day. Environmentalists in Texas are standing by their leader even after it was revealed he had been imprisoned for various charges, including rape by force, and has been on the run from authorities for over a decade. Protesters were shocked this week when Pedro Rabago Gutierrez, who went by Pete Heflin, while leading protests at the site of the Trans-Pecos pipeline in West Texas, was arrested and had his criminal history and true identity exposed. Gutierrez had not been seen since he was released on parole from California in 2002 after a long series of serious crimes. He was first imprisoned in 1984 on charges of forcible rape and drug possession with an intent to sell, according to Houston Chronicle. Gutierrez was released in 1990 but failed to stay out of legal trouble, according to the report. He was re-imprisoned numerous times for parole violations and then convicted in 1998 for having sex with a minor. California authorities lost track of him after his 2002 parole. But in November 2016, Gutierrez emerged as an environmentalist in Texas, protesting a Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission meeting over a proposed pipeline that would carry natural gas from the state into Mexico. He became a vocal leader of the protest, eventually rising to become the activist head of security and ceremonies. He also was made a board member of the Society of Native Nations. Many activists at the camp are standing by the man they knew as Pete Heflin, despite the serious charges that brought about his arrest. Lori Glover, who owns the land containing the protest site and plays leading role in protest activities, said she was privileged to have worked with him. He served his time, made a new start, Glover told Chronicle. I was unaware of any of his past history. Despite that, I feel very privileged to have worked with Pete Heflin. Her husband, Mark Glover, called Heflin an honorable man and wrote of his criminal history by pointing out that American Indians have an incredibly high incarceration rate. I've known Pete Heflin for 6 months, and I found him to be a very honorable man, and I will stand by him any day, Mark Glover said. American Indians have an incredibly high incarceration rate, and if he served prison time, I wouldn't doubt it. But we believe in redemption, and we believe in Pete Heflin. Pete Heflin has claimed to be a member of the Mescalero Apache tribe. It is unclear if that is also a misrepresentation. Like, try that again. Lysogen, a protester who has donated money to the protest group using GoFundMe, wrote on Facebook that people should let his past be and he should be released so that he could continue his good work for people. Let his past be. Most people have something in their past that they are not proud of. Let him out so he can still continue his good work for people. If it happened a long time ago, bury it, wrote Lysogen. Josh Michener, an active protester who announced he was leaving the camp this week due to personal issues, explained the arrest in a Facebook Live video, claiming that camp leadership was being targeted. They're targeting leadership, Michener said. They're trying to find anything and everything they can to dig up the past. In reality, Gutierrez was discovered because he presented fake identification cards to a local sheriff as he was waiting for his wife to be released from jail after she was detained during a protest. His true identity and a California warrant for his arrest dating back to 2007 was soon discovered. Gutierrez admitted his true identity to police, according to the official incident report. Once his identity had been verified through the fingerprint scan, Heflin admitted that his real name was Gutierrez and that he was wanted out of California, police wrote in an accompanying press release. He is still being detained in Texas, but will be returned to California. Gutierrez is a registered sex offender in California due to several charges, including rape by force charge. He is considered a moderate high threat, but had access to children that were brought to the protest site, according to the Washington Examiner. And that's all I have in this episode. There's going to be more to follow. If you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up. Don't be afraid to let me know. And if you would like, please pass it around on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And that way you'll stay informed. See you in the next one.